What else? Oh, so we were chopping it up.
With?
Ginsu knives and all that stuff, making. So we were chopping up at work, and so one of the things that we ran across was one of our coworkers talking this crazy story about some of the worst things or crazy things that happen to people in their life. So, what is the craziest thing or the life or death? It could be a life or death. What's the craziest thing that happened in your life that's maybe would have been like a life or death situation?
That probably would mean we're not here right now.
Yeah.
Who wants to go? I know you want to go, Paul.
You go first.
No, you want to go.
You go first.
Nice.
Man, will you just go?
Fine. I'll spare you.
Go ahead.
I'll spare you. Nah, you go.
This is how it is all the time, people on Twitch. This is how it is all the time.
No, but this was when I was a stupid kid, young enough to be stupid, but not realize it. I was living at Whittier at the time, and we had an apartment complex that was in the back away from the street, right? And I would ride my bike up and down the driveway, right? And then I remember I was just pulling up to out to the sidewalk where where the cars would go in and out, right? And there was this car that was parked, and it was this lady or something, right? And she was waving me down, right? And she was like waving me down, trying to get my attention. She got my attention, and she kept gesturing me to come over to her by her car. Mind you, the car's running, by the way, right? So I didn't go to her. I did this stupid thing where she kept waving me, come over here. I was like, no, you come here, right? She said she shook her head. I was like, no, come here. I'm like, no, you come here, come here. I wasn't even being smart. This is years later when I realized I probably would have been kidnapped if I went over there. Mm-hmm. But she kept she was getting pissed because she was like, come here. And I was like, no, you come here.
He probably almost got kidnapped. He almost got abducted. He would have been he'd been doing a male OnlyFans.
I was like, no, you come to me.
That's funny.
And then I just wound up going back to my mom, and then she told me, and I was like, oh, I didn't think about that.
Of course not, because back in the day, we didn't think about stuff like people getting abducted and stuff.
I think
I got others, but we'll switch off.
For me was, I want to say this wasn't a near-death experience. I think I got hurt or something. The first occasion, I was in 9th or 10th grade at the time. Mm-hmm. Me and one of my closest brothers, and I call him one of my brothers, my big homie, Stefan Isoris, we call him Big Ones back in the days. But we was
he hit him with the Stefan, because he tried to spare him from the Stephen Urkel.
No, it was actually his name.
I'm calling him Stefan.
I don't know. That was actually his name.
I know.
I don't know why.
We was doing something. The way you led into it.
We was doing something. We was cracking jokes or something. But the teacher was chasing us or says, "Hey, y'all stop doing that!" So we ran, and I slipped and fell, and I BS you, and I cannot make this up. And I was talking about somebody I went to high school with this day. I slipped and fell on a wall, literally wall, and put a hole in the wall with my ass. So imagine we right here. I slipped and fell, but I went ass first. And when I sat down, the whole wall it was like boom, and everybody heard it. And when I sat up, they like, goddamn, your ass got power if you put a hole in that. And still to this, they kept it there for a while until I graduated.
They frame it?
No, they didn't frame it. I'm glad they didn't.
They take pictures of it.
I never forget. It was like 2 or 3 years ago. It was like 2 or 3 years ago. I ran into a partner of mine, and we brought her. He said, "Remember when you put the hole in the wall with your ass at school?"
Yeah. That's funny.
Near-death experience is a time I think I was 15 or 16. And with your brother, God rest his soul, we always try to, prank each other or try to see if we could do, on top something. So
Right.
we climbed on the roof of a whole apartment complex. It was me, my brother, and two other guys. Got so much love for. We used to dare each other to jump off the roof
Right.
on the ground and see how long we could stay in there, like see if we could land on our feet.
Oh.
So my dumbass, instead of just doing a regular jump, I do a cannonball
Oh, Lord.
off of the top
First
of the
of all-
thing. And when I say I did a can, I just literally jumped and kept thinking I'm gonna land on my feet, but I went straight ass down on
I'm
the
glad you
grass.
land on your feet. You know how much impact that
Yeah.
on your feet coming from like
Yeah.
a roof high?
But so basically, it wasn't like so basically like how the parking lot is.
You were
the
story
garage?
high?
So I was.
Yeah, I know you
so
was
basically,
story high. You were-
remember how we was laughing about the two
Yeah.
Asians hanging on
Yeah.
the balcony? That's how we was, but a little bit more higher.
No, I know what you're talking
So
about. You don't
when I did it was my turn. So I jumped in a cannonball position, but instead of landing on my feet, I didn't realize I went ass down.
Yeah,
and
you
cracked.
busted your tailbone.
Woo! Woo! And my mama looked at me, what the hell y'all out there doing?
You know how much impact
And my
that
brother, he just bust up laughing. He was like, you dumbass nigga. What you gonna do that for?
Nah, you know how much you
And
could've-
my former stepdad, he was out there, and my mom was like, why you letting them jump? He said, look, them boys do what they want.
Nah,
But
not
the
that.
way I did it, you think I was jumping in the pool. I was just trying to show off top, like, hey, I can jump off this thing better than y'all.
You almost died. You almost busted your head, literally.
I just have to ask: are a lot of these going to involve your butt?
No, just those two moments. That was a near death thing with my ass, and me putting a hole in the wall was the funny thing.
That's funny. That's funny. Let me get in. Let me get in.
I
Real
got
fast.
some other ones, but
Hold on, let me get in.
No, let's
I
can't
got-
get it in.
I don't know if y'all can see this. I'm gonna try to show this y'all for the camera. But try to show that for the camera. Y'all see that, right?
Ooh,
all right, fellas.
yeah,
y'all
I
see
see
that?
it.
Y'all see
Yeah.
that? Y'all see that?
Yeah,
I see it now.
Y'all see that?
Damn.
it's a little grody, man.
I know it's grody.
Almost-
but look at that real fast.
Yeah, I never know. Wow.
Nobody's ever seen this. Nobody really pays attention because
Half a finger.
I never exactly.
Half a thumb.
So I told the story before, but I haven't told it in a while. But I'm gonna tell it now. So when I was a kid, like 4 or 5 years old, my grandmother, when she lived at the old house, rest in peace, my grandmother, of course, she had this a cement toy chest, not a regular toy chest, a cement one. The cement block is about yay thick on the top.
It's about 5 inches.
Easily, probably 6 or 7. So I'm grabbing toys out of the cement toy chest because that's where all the toys was at the house. I'm grabbing toys and stuff, right? So the story was told. I was too young to understand this, but the story was told that I had my hand there in some way. The cement toy chest came down, got my thumb. Keep in mind, this is not no little cement. Keep in mind, this is cement for one. Not this is cement.
My thumb just felt. I can feel it.
This is cement. Now let's say that cement was maybe like this thick. That's one thing. It's still gonna hurt like a mug, right? It's about maybe 4 times as thick
I feel
as
it
this.
too.
So that means it was about yay thick coming down with force.
Gravity.
I'm not even if I was grown like today, it still would have got my thumb off.
I don't think anyone out there could take their thumb getting crushed.
Right. So my whole thumb was like dangling by a strand. I know it's gross. I'm sorry.
Claw from Inspector
I'm
Gadget.
sorry.
Turned to
I know. No, and I'm telling you, if y'all were to see me in life, and y'all to see me do work, everything would be normal, right? But people don't understand that. Yeah, my left hand is smaller than my right hand. That's the reason why when I was like played basketball or football, pause. When I was playing basketball or football,
It's a strong hand.
shut up. I do
strong side. Left side. He
No,
went.
I know what you're talking about. You
Yeah.
ain't funny.
I call
You
it-
ain't funny.
I'm a strong hand.
You ain't funny. You funny, but you ain't funny.
They didn't trust him around the church.
You ain't funny.
I believe that one. I ain't gonna touch that one. Wow. He said
You ain't
strong
funny.
hand.
But yeah, my one hand is I can't grip as well with my left as with my right, believe it or not. Even though, funny enough, when I do like when I do kickboxing and stuff, I actually lead in opposite. Even though I write with my right hand, I actually square up left.
Southpaw.
Yeah. But believe it or not, this hand is technically smaller than this one. Because this one, it grew, but it doesn't grow nearly at the rate as which my other thumb on my right hand.
So it's stuck.
Yeah, and that's
it got smashed.
It literally was smashed.
I'm sorry.
I know, I've never seen it. I've never really shown that to y'all. Even I know this is the first time I've seen it. I know now he's looking at my thumb like.
Can't even take the thumb.
Now
you went to go do a live.
And then you like. And then people were like,
your thumb bigger than that print is so big.
That's why everybody be like, well, how are you able to grab this? I'm like, I can grab stuff. I just can't do it with the same force. That's why I couldn't play football or play basketball. I could play ball, but I couldn't.
He can still flip the beam.
Here we go.
Here we go.
He wasn't going to get it, but I know you got
it. I'm just picturing it. It's like, dang, Ken, your hand is messed up. How many fingers is this?
Yeah, more or less.
You know how hard would have been trying to hit like a lighter. He can hit.
No, I couldn't do that. Think about that. If I really didn't have my thumb, you know how many things I really couldn't do? Like for real, I have to hold a controller claw.
You had a chicken wing. He get frustrated. He try to pick.
I couldn't hold the controller because the controller I had to hold it like this and hold it like this. I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't eat no real food. I couldn't hold no chicken. I had to hold it one-handed, of course. I couldn't hold it with two.
It's dumb.
You know, bro, can't eat no chicken.
I couldn't give you a high five. I had to be bro man. I had to be a bro man for the.
Give me food.
More or less, you know how crazy that could have been.
Man,
but I tell you that story because it's a real thing.
You sound bad time with the thumb war.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If it sounded gross, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the people watching.
It's a little gross,
but it's.
Okay,
but it's a real thing. But go ahead.
What's the most dumbest thing you ever did?
Dumb?
I don't know. We have enough time for that.
I mean, I've done some dumb stuff. But
we do dumb stuff every day.
I mean,
that list is still growing.
I think the craziest thing I ever done was I was watching Bloodsport with my cousin. And not kickboxing. You know that part, the scene when he was kicking the wall. So we thought that we could do that. So I kicked the wall. It damn near broke my foot and shin.
At least this time it wasn't your butt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I done a crazy lot of shit.
Back
in high school, they used to call me Big Booty Paul or Doodoo Brown for some reason.
Doodoo Brown.
Used to make a song. Do that dash.
Big Booty Paul.
No, Big Booty Paul.
Yeah, no, Big Booty Paul.
And then the homie used to say Doodoo Brown. Don't ask no questions.
Oh no, I know the song.
Yeah.
Doodoo Brown.
Yeah.
I know why he said that. He'll cool for that.
Yeah.
Now, you said what was the scariest thing? So I will give y'all a not scary story, but scary in how it's perceived. So before I had my music group Cross Culture, I was on tour. We were doing different events, so we would go to different churches and whatnot, and we'll be on different stages.
Don't forget Chuck E. Cheese.
Not never Chuck E. Cheese. Almost Chuck E. Cheese, but never Chuck E. Cheese. Almost did for a birthday at Chuck E. Cheese. Anyway, be it as it may.
I can see that. Carol come out doing the rap say on stage, doing the show.
Be it as it may. First of all, they had one of the dopest stages. I'm gonna keep it real.
They did. The pizza was good.
Pizza was trash.
It all depends what Chuck E. Cheese you went to. Like the one in Lakewood was always popping.
It's on par with Caesar's.
Man, that pizza was cardboard.
Open and play skee ball.
Little Caesars got better.
Man, he done got his heart broken by the rat. That's why he's scornful. Got lost in the ball pit.
Nah, never that. You know, I ain't
gonna tag.
I ain't gonna tell you about ball pit.
All right, sorry, Paul.
Anyway, we got sidetracked. So back in the day, I was taking stage. We were actually doing songs. I was actually the headlining artist to perform at the border. And we were in Mexico on the Tijuana side of Mexico. We were at doing a church.
Just said Mexico alone.
Yeah, we're the.
That's not even a joke. Yeah.
No, I'm dead serious. We're on the Tijuana side of Mexico. We were doing so our church went out there to do a project for YWAM, Youth with a Mission, which we were out there to build houses. Mm-hmm. So we were in the process of putting together and building houses, but they knew that I was an artist, so they let me take stage at the border. So they would set up a stage at the border, and I would perform songs at the border. Everybody who's from Mexico City looking at us crazy. All the gangsters was there. Everybody looking at your boy crazy. So that was scary in itself because you got people looking at you crazy like, oh, what is he saying? What is he doing? What is this? We're doing ministry, talking about God, doing Christian hip hop music and stuff. And you had no less than gang members and stuff like, because they were like, who is this dude? Who is this black dude? Who is this dude on in our soil? Who is this black dude? Why are they all huddled around? And so you get all the head nods and stuff. They had this gang called the Raiders out there, and they were just like looking, and they were just like, they were cool. They gave us the okay. They was cool. They gave us our blessing, but it was scary. No, don't get me wrong. I didn't think it was scary because I was like, I had no fear. I was doing ministry. I had no fear, but it was scary. In hindsight,
it was a natural fear.
Yeah, in hindsight, it would if I would have really known the magnitude of what I was doing, it's super scary. But I didn't think about the magnitude at the time.
What year?
This was 92. This is 92.
Don't get me wrong, Mexico's always been bad.
Yeah, but it was pretty like that. Now, next day, we were in the mall. They had stage set up, whole nine. I don't know how it came about where they were like, do you want to perform on this stage? I don't know how that conversation came about. Me, no fear. I was like, I'm down. I'm like, in Mexico City, I'm going to do this. I guess my youth pastors, quote unquote, politicked it with the person who was actually like the musicians that were on stage. It was like, oh, can we rock on stage for a little bit? They were like, yeah, sure, go ahead. They didn't care. So I'm on stage in a mall in Tijuana doing Christian music in a place that's predominantly Catholic, by the way.
If you don't know, real quick, if you don't know, in Mexico, yes, it is predominantly Catholic. They take their Catholicism deadly serious, and they really don't like Christianity down there.
Right. So it was extreme. I didn't understand. Again, maybe just call it the young and dumb. I didn't understand the magnitude of it. I understood the magnitude overall, like what we were doing and the impact that we were doing. I understood that part. But I didn't understand the safety magnitude of it. You're in a mall, Mexico City, anything can happen. Having God's blessing upon your life when you're in that situation, because anything happens, it's hard. It's hard for us to get home. You still got to go through the border to get back home.
They will look for any reason to keep your ass there.
We still would have to get home. We're still on other people's soil doing our thing as far as like music and stuff. And this was me before. This was before I had my music group Cross Culture. This was me as a solo artist doing it with the church. Granted, like I said, I knew it was intended for me to do it, but in hindsight, it being scary, that's
crazy
in
shit
hindsight,
right there.
it's
Especially
pretty
in
scary
Mexico.
because you're in Mexico City, you're in Tijuana, Mexico, and stuff. That was my first time going to Mexico, was doing that. Don't get me wrong, it was a great experience. I would not substitute that for anything else. I learned an awful lot, but I never really understood the magnitude of it until much later. Like, dang, we really could have gotten in trouble. Like, we were wearing they told us, don't wear any jerseys, don't wear any this, don't wear your good shoes, don't wear none of that stuff. Because that's the magnitude of what we were walking into. Because we were literally in the neighborhood, like when we were in the neighborhood doing the house build, we were literally in the neighborhood and literally had, like I said, gang members literally looking at us, like making sure we didn't do nothing crazy. Even though we were doing something good, like building a house for them, they were still looking at us crazy. Because if anything would have happened, anybody would have flexed. Like, keep in mind, you're talking about people, we were in a church. Our church was in LA. So a lot of our people is hood, even though they're in church, they're hood and hood connected. And so, it still would have been like, hey, something really pops off, there's a phone call, we get some good, we get some people down here and they do that. But you on their soil. You know how hard it is to get somebody from LA to go down 4 hours and stuff before anything happens, and we over there, they could just like snatch all of us up in a heartbeat.
And you got still got to cross the border too.
Disappear.
Yeah, we would have disappeared and been like in deep Mexico in the jungles.
One of the many unmarked graves.
Yeah, and we wouldn't have known the wiser for doing. For the crazy thing is for doing the right thing, but that's why we told everybody: do not do anything. One of my boys had a Laker jersey on. A Lakers shirt on. Take it off. It's Lakers. It's not. Take it off. We couldn't give them not an inkling. And it was crazy because we were. I'm wearing like bright yellow and all this stuff. I wouldn't even walk around. I wasn't trying to walk around with a white tee on. Forget all that. I didn't want them to have no inklings. I had the jeans up. You know how we used to like try to get the semi-sag on. You know, my boys used to like try to real sag. I had the, we had the semi-sag on.
He pulled them up.
Pull all that up. Because we were told do not give them any inkling they can and will do something stupid. Mm-hmm. They didn't, thankfully, because I'm here to talk about it, of course. But yeah, that was a pretty scary thing.
Or is it?
Oh yeah. But I just want to tell you. Like I said, I can tell y'all a story.
That's a crazy story. But
I know these are things that I know we've never really talked about. But like I said, I have an awful lot of life experience. It's crazy enough.
Me too.
But go ahead, y'all go.
I think for me was the scariest movement I ever seen or I ever been encountered to was a time when I will say I was 11 or 12 at the time, and this is before me and my dad was somewhat close wise, but I was always out of the blue. I was gonna see him. So it was one day I was staying up with my grandmother over in Linwood, and he was renting an apartment over in Southgate. So the time I can go see him. I can go either get dropped off or I'm gonna ride my bike over there and go see him. So it was one particular time I was like, man, I want to go be with my dad. So I got on, not telling my mom. I said I got on my bike, and as soon as I was finna cross the street, I got hit by a car. Literally off my bike. I didn't even see the car coming, but I don't know. I don't remember if I had the right of way or that car had the right of way. All I remember, I want to go be with my dad. So when the car came,
typically pedestrians always have the right of way.
Yeah, but I think I was trying to beat the yellow light in general. So
you was jaywalking before the non-jaywalking rule. No,
I was just in the rush. I'm like, man,
I'm playing with you. I'm
finna go hang out with my dad. I'm finna go hang out with my dad. So when the car came, it made the right turn, and just all of a sudden it just came right here on my red part of my thigh. So when I got knocked down, the lady was like, "You okay? You okay?" She stopped, got out the car. So she gave, she picked up my bike, put it back in the truck, and gave me right back to my grandmother's house. So when I got there to my grandmother, hey, I got hit by a car. She's like, "Yeah, you okay?" I'm good. I steadied. I felt like I did nothing. So when I told my mom, like, "Hey, I got hit by a car," first of all, mom hit me upside my head, like, "I told you not to want to do something." Then she took me to the hospital. So luckily, I didn't have no internal bleeding. I just had bruises.
That was my question. Like, were you like?
I just had bruises on my leg, so they gave something and wrapped it up. So
I would have thought you'd have been like at least concussed or something. Yeah.
I think that was the scariest moment in my life. Like, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about that. Dang, have I ever got hit by a bike? Have I ever got hit by a car on a bike? I got into one car accident. No, that's like 2 car accidents.
That's like 3.
No, it's 2. I have to remember. I got one that was like a couple of years ago. That's how this.
I never been in a car. I've been in a car when the car hit from behind the trunk. Yeah, I remember that. I got front swiped about. I got front swiped about a year and a half ago, and then prior to that, the only other car accident I've been in was like '94. Only been in 2 car accidents in my life, and the other one was because the car was leaning out and I was going down. I was in Long Beach. I was trying to take one of these lovelies home, and I was getting her home. She was right around the corner from the house. You got distracted.
And no, I didn't get distracted. I didn't get distracted for nothing. No.
What's up,
I mean, she's like one of my homegirls.
Yeah. Go for it.
Come on, Teddy.
This was like one of my homegirls, though. I was taking her home from college because she was in Long Beach. So I was like, dude, 'cause I got time. I was driving my mom's car at the time, which.
Oh, it wasn't even your car. That's weird.
No, it was my mama's car. It turned out to be my car down the line, but it was my mama's car at the time.
After you wreck it.
No, I didn't even wreck it. It barely got
What kind of car was
tapped. It was a Toyota Tercel. It barely got tapped.
The 2-door?
No, this was the
Four-door.
This was a 4-door. And I was driving through. I was going down PCH, and right before I made the turn, this car, like, you know how you lean out to try to see what's on the left side. He leaned out too far. I couldn't brake like quick enough. I barely clipped the thing. Barely did any damage to the thing. That wasn't the scary part. I got out the car, did all this stuff. The scary part was trying to explain this to my mama.
Girl, you better help me come up with the story.
No, forget all that. I didn't lie. I told my Mom, I got into a car accident. She went from being cool to, what happened? She yelled in the car. God, we were going all the way to LA to my grandmother's house. What happened? I was chopping somebody. You chopping somebody who?
Yeah, that sounds just like my mom.
Who you dropping off? And why were you down there?
Why you got my car away?
Man, I did not hear the end of that for a week. The one of two accidents I got into my whole life was in my mama's car, barely nicked it, barely did damage to it. Nothing was really wrong with the car. It like bent the hood slightly. My mom didn't make me pay for it. She was just mad that I was actually taking somebody down there to drop them off. Like, what were you doing down there in PCH and dropping her off? It's like one of my OTs from high school. She goes to college, goes to Long Beach State. I was just dropping her off. I was dropping her off and going back to get you. Literally. I did not hear the end of that. It was more, man, my mom was like, you ain't driving a car. Because I used to drive the car. Yeah, like, because I would go to school, drive a car. You ain't driving a car. So my mom would drop me off at school. Then I would have to wait and wait for her to get off work and do all this stuff.
Cam really lost his privilege.
I did. Mom she only snatched me up for about like a week. It wasn't even that long. She was more mad. She talked about it longer than what she punched me for, if that makes sense. But I was semi-wrong. I should have followed what my mama said and not had nobody with. Huh?
How old was you?
I was 19. 19. I was young. I was mature. My mom used to let me whip around everywhere. Even after that, she still would just let me drive. I would drive everywhere. Even when it was just me, my mom, my sister, and it was just one car, I would just whip around all the time. But that was the only time I got into a car accident. But I was thinking about your bike accident. Like I never got into a bike like a regular bike. I got hit off a motorcycle, of course. But I got rear-ended off of a motorcycle.
Yeah, that was some scary shit right there for me, boys.
You want to go fix that?
Oh no.
We can go get a bike right now.
That's what
get your car.
I mean, I'm gonna get his BMX on.
No, but see, that's why I was.
Is that a Huffy? That's a nice looking bike.
It's like it's crazy. It's like maybe I'm just like, dog, I played it so safe that I've never been in that situation.
Mm-hmm. Are you jealous?
No, not really. I'm just saying
that.
Why you making it sound?
But it's like.
I get what you said.
But it's like one of those things. Like, dog, was I really like just that safe where I never got into like any type of crazy? I mean, because there was a lot of stuff that you said you did, I would have never done. Jump off the second story of a house. I mean, I climbed up a second story of a house. I'll tell y'all that story on another podcast.
You do look like you did parkour as a kid.
I mean, I climbed up a house, but I never like jumped down off a second story. I never dove into like a pool off second floor. I've seen people do that, but I ain't did that stuff. It was just I was never really like.
He never left an ass-shaped print in the wall.
No, I ain't didn't.
You ain't
gonna live that one now. Sorry, and that's on, that's on Twitch land. So you know, the Twitch people gonna jump.
I ain't ashamed on that.
They should have framed him.
Who knows? It's been so long since I've been up to my.
Got a picture of you right now?
You walk in, hey, boom. Still keeping this tradition going.
Have somebody have one right next to it. But yeah, never got into like a bike accident. Motorcycle, yes, never a bike. And 2 car accidents. That's crazy. But a lot of that stuff you'd be like, nah, I never did stuff like that. That's me. I never did that stuff.
Man, that's really got you going. Like,
no, because
I get what you. No, I feel you.
I'm really trying to think about it right now. I was like, because even when we played like football and stuff in the street, never got hurt.
He was a good boy.
Yeah, we got hurt.
I never got hurt.
We used to try to play tackle football in the streets.
Yeah, we played tackle and stuff. Never
hit on the spot. You tackled on somebody on the car. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got hit. I got hit on a car, and I hit somebody on a car.
I once hit a parked car.
Oh, that ain't good.
Yeah, I was riding on my bike, going uphill. I don't even know how. I was just going uphill, and I just didn't stop going right, and I just hit this parked car.
Like,
I didn't hit it hard. I laid out on the hood.
Something off that, so I could top you on that. So you know how sometimes when you go up the little dips on the sidewalk, and that you be thinking you can make it, and they got the little crack. So me trying to pop a wheelie right when I was with my boys, but I didn't see the little crack part on the dip part. So as I try to roll, I tumbled
and it knows you forward. Yep.
Fade, not like damn near front flipped over my bike. And landed so hard. I'm surprised nothing broke or nothing was bleeding. I think I just, cut my arm and stuff like that. But it's like going airborne.
Yeah. I tried to stay in much. When I was I had a Diamondback bicycle, and so when you hit them, when we hit so you know how the driveways they had the dips. So we would go down it, then get like the elevate off the top part of it. We would do that stuff all the time and jump into the street, come back in and stuff. We would do that, but I never really. That's crazy. I was thinking about that. I was like, I never really landed wrong. We just kept rolling. It was weird. Maybe I just got lucky. That's all I say. Maybe it was just me.
Blessed.
Oh yeah, definitely blessed. We know that.